All right, gather around, my financially curious underdogs, because today we're talking about how to hit millionaire status, even if your paycheck currently screams clearance aisle. That's right, this isn't one of those just make six figures and invest it all type of videos. This is for the real ones, the teachers, the delivery drivers, the people who look at $80 brunches and think, that's 2 weeks of groceries if I do it right. Because here's the truth that nobody talks about. Becoming a millionaire isn't just for tech bros and startup founders. It's not about luck, inheritance, or working 100 hours a week. It's about strategy, consistency, and avoiding the traps that most high-income earners fall into. In fact, most millionaires don't actually make crazy money. Studies show a surprising number of them earn below average salaries for most of their lives. They just had a system. And that system didn't involve lottery tickets, crypto moonshots, or manifesting abundance by journaling next to crystals. Nope, it was built on simple, repeatable habits that anyone, yes, even you with the 42K salary and student loans, can start applying today. So, if you're ready to learn how to grow wealth from the ground up, make your money stretch like yoga pants on Black Friday, and eventually reach millionaire status without needing to go viral or sell your soul to hustle culture, this is your moment. Alright, before we get into the how, let's clear up a pretty common myth that's been ruining financial plans since forever. High income doesn't equal high wealth. Because if money alone made people rich, every person making six figures would be financially set. And spoiler alert, they're not. In fact, a ton of them are stressed out, over-leveraged, and one pay cut away from a meltdown. Why? Because they fell for the trap. They thought earning more meant they could spend more. And they did. Bigger house, newer cars, subscription to a gym they went to twice, and a fridge full of organic kale they forgot to eat. Meanwhile, their bank account's telling them to send help. On the flip side, there are people earning 40K, 50K, 60K a year who are quietly stacking wealth like squirrels prepping for the winter. Not because they skipped lattes, but because they understood this one powerful truth. It's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. A janitor named Ronald Reed died with an $8 million portfolio. Not because he won the lottery, because he saved, invested, lived simply, played the long game. So if you're watching this and thinking, I don't make enough to get rich, let me stop you right there. Because you don't need a massive income. You need to stop playing defense and start playing offense with the money you do have. Because wealth isn't built by climbing the salary ladder. It's built by widening the gap between what you can earn and what you can spend, and then using that gap to build a money machine. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Becoming a millionaire on a low income isn't about winning the lottery or launching the next Uber. It's about creating a gap, a consistent, growing space between what you earn and what you spend. And I know, you're probably thinking, bro, I already budget. I'm not out here popping bottles on a Tuesday. But financial drift doesn't care how much you make, it'll find you always. The key is turning that gap into your default setting, not a one-time challenge, because the gap is exactly where the magic happens. It's where wealth lives. Let's say you earn 35K a year and live off of 30K a year. That's a 5K gap. Doesn't sound like much, right? But that 5K invested consistently in a simple index fund earning a modest 7% return, in 30 years, it turns into over $500,000, $500,000 on a low income, without working more hours, without becoming a crypto guru. Now just imagine what happens when your income goes up, but you don't increase your lifestyle. That 5K gap becomes 10K, then 20K, and every dollar you don't spend becomes a soldier fighting for your future freedom. The broke mindset spends a raise. The wealthy mindset saves a raise. So how exactly do you create the gap? Start by tracking your spending. No guessing, no vibes-based budgeting. Then you can cap your lifestyle, set a baseline, and stick to it, even when your income does grow. And lastly, automate your savings so it's not a decision. It's the default. You don't need a six-figure income to get rich. You need a system that builds the gap and protects it like your financial life depends on it. Because it does. Alright, so you've created the gap. Money is no longer disappearing into the void every month. But here comes the big question. What do you actually do with it? Answer, you invest it. Not in Dogecoin, not in your cousin's NFT startup. We're talking boring, beautiful, proven wealth building. Because here's what most people get wrong. They think investing is reserved for people who already have money, or that it's risky, or that they need to know what a candlestick chart is. Newsflash, you don't. The truth is, you can start investing with as little as $50, and you don't have to day trade or time the market like a caffeinated squirrel on Robinhood. The best low-income strategy is index funds. They're basically baskets of hundreds, sometimes even thousands of companies. When you invest in one, you're betting on the long-term growth of the entire market, not just one sketchy stock. You're not trying to find the next Tesla. You're just hitching a ride on the entire economy. Slow, steady, and powerful. Let's say you invest $200 a month into a simple S&P 500 index fund. Over 30 years, with a 7% average return, you'd end up with around $240,000. Double that to $400 a month, and you're over $500,000. Now combine that with a Roth IRA, which lets your money grow tax-free, and you just unlocked a cheat code. So here's how to make it brain dead simple. Open an account at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Pick a total market or S&P 500 index fund like the VTSAX or the FXAIX and set up automatic contributions so that every paycheck, money goes in before you can touch it. That's it. No trading, no stress, just consistent automatic growth. You don't need to be rich to invest, but you do need to invest to get rich. Okay, so you're officially saving, investing, and finally started to make some real progress. But lurking in the background is a sneaky little villain that's been wrecking low-income millionaires in the making since forever. It's called lifestyle creep. And trust me, it's got hands, and here's how it happens. You start making a little more money. Maybe you pick up some freelance work, get a raise, finally catch a break. And what's the first thing most people do? They upgrade. That old $800 apartment becomes $1,200. The used Honda gets swapped out for a brand new SUV because you think you deserve it. And now that you're making more, takeout 3 times a week just feels normal. Suddenly, all the progress you made, gone. And the gap you created between income and expenses, closed. You're officially back to square one, but with nicer stuff and the same financial stress. Here's the wild part. Lifestyle creep feels good. It feels earned. It feels like success. But it's the reason people making $70K feel just as broke as when they made $40K, because the expenses scaled with their income. And when your lifestyle grows every time your paycheck does, you never actually get ahead. You just get fancier broke. So what's the fix? Freeze your lifestyle. Not forever, just for a while. If you get a raise, don't upgrade everything. Take the extra money and funnel it towards your goals. Pay off debt, invest more, and stack your emergency fund. You don't have to live like a monk, just don't treat every income boost like permission to live larger. Millionaires are made in the gap between income and lifestyle. Grow one, keep the other the same. That's the game. All right, let's cut the fluff. So you've heard the theory. You've dodged lifestyle creep. Now let's actually build the plan. Because yes, you can become a millionaire on a modest income, but only if you do it on purpose. So here's the 5-step strategy to make it happen. Step 1, lock in a survival budget. Before anything else, get clear on the bare minimum you need to live. I'm talking food, rent, transportation, bills, just the basics. This is your baseline. Know it, love it, stick to it like your future depends on it, because it does. Step 2 is to automate the wealth gap. Take the gap between your income and that survival budget and automate it into savings or investments the moment you get paid. Not after rent, not after brunch, the moment the money hits. This forces you to live below your means and makes wealth building the default, not the exception. The next step is to start investing at as soon as possible. Even if it's just $50 a month, use a low-fee index fund, open a Roth IRA, or start with your work retirement plan. Time and consistency beat everything. You're not trying to become rich tomorrow, you're building millionaire momentum. Your 4th step is to increase your income. Think side hustle, overtime, freelancing, selling art, I don't care what it is, but find ways to boost your income without upgrading your lifestyle. Every dollar is fuel for your millionaire engine. Stack it, don't spend it. And finally, the last step of the blueprint is to stay boring and consistent. This is actually where most people mess up. They get bored, they chase shiny things, but if you stay consistent, same strategy, same grind, same automation, you will absolutely crush this game. Need some proof? Someone making $35K a year who saves and invests $500 a month at a 7% return ends up with over $1 million in 40 years. That's without ever making six figures. Just math, just consistency. Congratulations, you've got the blueprint. You know how to budget, how to invest, and how to grow your income without falling into the bougie broke trap. But here's the last lesson, the mindset shift that seals the deal. You don't need to look rich to get rich. In fact, most people who actually build wealth on low incomes, they do it in silence. No flexing, no designer, no chasing status, just low-key discipline and high-key bank balances. They drive the same car for 10 years, they reuse Tupperware, they're not skipping avocado toast, but they're not dropping $200 on bottle service either. Meanwhile, the people trying the hardest to appear rich are usually the ones drowning in credit card debt and stress. Because wealth isn't loud, it's quiet, it's peace of mind. It's opening your bank app without flinching. It's the freedom to walk away from a job, say yes to a trip, or help out your parents without it wrecking your finances. The real flex is not needing to flex at all. And if you follow this strategy, living below your means, automating your wealth, and avoiding lifestyle creep, you'll quietly become that person. The one who built $1 million life without a six-figure income. The one who kept their head down while everyone else was chasing trends. Because the truth is, anyone can get rich with a lucky break, but staying rich takes intention, discipline, and yes, sometimes eating rice and beans while your friends lease new Teslas. Okay, my quietly ambitious friends, if you've made it this far, then you already know the truth. Becoming a millionaire on a low income isn't about winning the lottery, inventing an app, or grinding until you collapse. It's about doing a few unsexy things really well for a really long time. It's about living like you're 10% poorer than you actually are, even when your paycheck doesn't get bigger. It's about buying assets before you buy upgrades. And it's about protecting your wealth building gap like it's sacred. The people who pull this off, they don't make headlines, but they retire early, they own homes, they raise kids without financial anxiety, and they sleep really well at night. So here's your next move. Pick one thing, cut one expense, start one investment, automate one transfer, just start, and keep starting. Because the gap between staying broke and becoming a millionaire isn't your income, it's your behavior. So if you've got value from this video, like, subscribe, and drop a comment to let me know, what are you doing today to move toward that quiet millionaire life? Then log out, stack up, and keep it low key. You've got this.